Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Night Writer podcast. I'm really pleased to introduce tonight's special guest, Cynthia Sanders. Hi Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So
How
you're
are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's you're calling from Vegas, right?
Yes.
Very exciting. So it's literally on the other side of where I am. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you're here on a promotional book tour to promote virtual book tour, sorry, to promote your debut children's book.
Yes.
Please tell us what it's about.
Well, it's about a young girl, a young Black girl, but it's for, all kids, not a particular race. But it's about a young girl who deals with fear, and she listens to that monster that tells her she can't be anything or she can't do anything. And she starts to believe in that monster, and she starts to believe she can't be anything. And so when she goes to sleep, this fairy called the Fairy of Courage comes in her dreams and shows her that she can be a doctor or a nurse or an astronaut or whatever she puts her mind to, and that she is smart enough and that she is good enough. And so she gets rid of that monster of fear once she realizes, once the fairy, puts in her head and in her mind that she is great and that she can be what she wants to be. And so she gets rid of that monster, that evil thought in her head, and she starts to become really good friends with the fairy. And the fairy is going to like her Fairly Odd Parent, the cartoon show is going to be like that throughout the series for however long I want to, make the book or make the series go. So that's kind of like, the fairy's going to be like right next to her when she does start to doubt herself. The fairy's going to come in and put positive things into her head so she can believe in herself like she is now.
It sounds really inspiring. I mean, just hearing
Yeah.
it. What inspired you to write it, or make you think I'm going to sit down and actually do this and see it through?
I got sick with the virus back in March. And so that really put the fear in me because so many people have passed away from it. I lost close family members to it.
Sorry.
So when I got it, thank you. When I contracted, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, I need to do something. I knew I had a passion for writing. I knew I wanted to do something besides, just romance or mystery and thriller. That's my main genre. I like to, read and write. But something told me to say, do a children's book, about your fear. And so I did. And courage just came along with it as I was writing it. So that's kind of what inspired me was the virus, thinking I was going to die from it, but, at least have something out and put something out. I knew I had a passion for writing. So I was like, let me put something out. And then something popped in my head to do a children's book. I don't know where that came from because that's not my genre, but now it is. So
That's actually really interesting that you say it's not your genre, because I think with books, everyone has their own pockets. Like there's romance and thriller and crime, but children's stories and children's books in particular are quite hard, I think, to write, because you have to get the voice and the audience right, and you can't, go into too much detail about everything that you want to be writing, like a murder mystery, or romance even. So you have to kind of hit that note. Did you find that hard to do, or did you do any research about children's books, or did you just go for it?
I just went for it. I just wrote it. I went for a children's book. I did look up a little bit, like how does a children's book, like what's the age range I want to target, and I targeted 6 and up because I think I like around that age, since I've been around kids so much, I don't have any kids of my own, but I have, nieces and nephews and little cousins. And I've been around some of my mother has friends that had smaller children that, lived with her that I was around and got close to. And I saw how they were so young, dealing with so much stuff. And it's like, you're a kid, you're supposed to be having fun, but they have their insecurities. They've been bullied themselves. I've been bullied. So I just wanted to help, not even just young girls, but all little kids, all young boys and young girls. And that's mainly what I wanted to target with 6 and up, because around that age, you just start to feel, I guess, the pressure of going to a new school or meeting new friends and moving to a new environment like a house or a home or a neighborhood. And I just remember being that age, and that's when it started affecting me, I guess, around that age, meeting new friends and not being good enough and feeling, like people won't like me because I'm different or I'm weird. So I feel like that's why I said 6 and up, because it does continue from there. I mean, it can even be younger. I've heard that even younger kids below the age of 6 are feeling some type of way, especially during the pandemic. So it's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
sure. Did the your nieces and nephews, were they your test audience when you first started the draft?
Well, my nieces and nephews all live in California, so they didn't even know about it. I didn't even reach out to be
Wow.
a test audience. I didn't even have a test audience, but now they know now. My nephew is the main one. My brother had bought him one of my books, and I haven't really heard anything yet to see if he liked it or not. I don't know if he purchased it yet or not. I have to reach out to him about that. But most definitely, I know my niece, she's a little bit younger, so I'm not really sure if they purchased the book yet. But yeah, I didn't really have a test audience. Besides my boyfriend, he was my test audience. That was it.
Um, and how many drafts did you have to go through before you went to the final one, the published?
I'm sorry.
How many drafts versions did you go through before you got to the final one?
I actually went to see, I went to a proofreader or an editor to go over everything that I could have missed. Cause when you write your own stuff, you don't see what you can miss. And I went over it like about 2 or 3 times and it looked good to me. And I had my boyfriend, read it. And then it looked good to him, but some people saw it was like, oh, you see this and this, wrong with it. And so I had to go to an editor and they had to like proofread it and they edited it. I only have to go through like one draft because it just comes to me. And I was getting inspired even though I was sick as a dog with the virus, it just came to me. I knew I really wanted, like my gut was just like, push it out. And so I did. The name came up to me, all of it. So.
For children's books, how many pages usually is it in particular for Amazon?
It was 22 pages, but I had to add an acknowledgement and author's note because it went through KDP. I had a publisher help me with that from Nigeria. He helped me publish it, or he published it, but I was like following along. You need 24 pages for it to get to Amazon, so it's 24 pages.
And when you had a copy of your book, how did that feel?
It felt great. I was like, wow, it's so little. But then I got it, I got a bigger size. I had another editor or whatever he is fix it for me and make it a bigger size. So now it's bigger. I have it actually, if you want to look at it, the difference. This is how it came out at first when I first got it. It was so small. And I didn't really like the Munster. So I had the Munster change from this one to another one. So now it's like a bigger one. And I like this one way better.
Yeah.
And I like the Munster way better. So I was happy. I was ecstatic. And it was like shocking to see my name on something. I didn't believe it at first. I was like, what did I do? Like it was like, oh my God, my name is on something. And it felt great because I always looked at everybody else's accomplishments and I'm like, dang, they're doing so much better than me. Like, what did I do wrong, in my life to where I'm not doing nothing and everybody's getting this and that. So I was like, I want to do something. I did push it out a little too soon, but it's out there now and I'm happy that it's out there. So.
I think that's really great. And I think it's great that you've actually like seen it through as well, because I know so many people, so many writers as well, and non-writers were like, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book in the pandemic. I've got nothing to do, so I'm going to write a book. And I'm like, yeah, it's not that easy to just sit down and write a book. It's like a long process. But congratulations for finishing it.
Thank you.
And something to hold in your hand as well.
Yes.
That's, I think, every writer's dream, to have their work and hold their work in their hand.
Yeah.
And also I think for self-publishing as well, it's something that you can just do. You don't have to rely on so much on other people to tell you it's this, that, and everything else. And because I feel like when you do that, other people are looking and saying, and you constantly getting rejected, then your self-esteem kind of just diminishes even more, and then you just kind of,
yes,
yeah, like, what am I doing wrong? But then if you put it out there and then you get all this positive response from actual readers and not people who are paid to kind of like critique you, then it's different. I mean, I don't know, like, how are you finding self-publishing and just that world of Amazon? Because I'm sure loads of our viewers and listeners probably want to know about that world a bit more now.
Yeah, self-publishing is kind of difficult, especially when you're a first-time author because you don't know much about it. So it's good to do your research on it and see if that's what you want to be and what you want to do. If you want to go through a publishing company, then that's your decision. Just make sure you research it and ask a lot of questions and just, really dive deep into if that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with self-publishing or going through a publishing company. You just got to be careful, and I'm learning that very slowly, but I'm learning that, very quickly as well. And yeah, self-publishing, it is kind of difficult because you have to know how to edit and format your book. And so I have people help me with that. So that part I don't do. But I don't see nothing wrong with self-publishing. I actually like it because it's you doing it and you know that it's your personal stuff. You don't have to wait for a publishing company to put out your book or this and that. One thing that is kind of difficult is trying to get it out there to other platforms like Barnes and Nobles and Target and Walmart and in libraries and stuff. When you self-publish on Amazon, it just stays on Amazon. So, and Amazon doesn't really push your book like that. You have to do it, of course, put in the work. But you also want the help from Amazon, and they really don't push it. But I do enjoy being a self-published author or an indie author and going through KDP. And I am trying to push my book inside stores as well, and school libraries and other libraries as well.
Yeah, it should. I get this story more attention. I think it should. And the front cover as well. Did you hire an illustrator to do that, or?
Yeah, I hired an illustrator to do all the illustrations, so it's text and illustrations. And the illustrator did the front and back and the illustrations and the characters. He was a little difficult in the beginning. Well, actually, in the beginning he was okay, and then towards like the mid of everything, I don't know. I think things got hectic for him on his end. His brother got sick with the virus. His mother was sick, but it was like, I told him specifically how I wanted things, and I guess he did it kind of his way. And I kind of, I wouldn't say regret going to him and spending close to like a hundred couple dollars to get it done, because I knew how I wanted the fairy and the monster to look. I like how the monster looks now. The fairy's okay, but I knew how I wanted them to look. I had it in my head how I wanted Mia to look, the mother to look, the teacher,
Yeah, you're
and
the
stuff
right
like that.
like, you have
Yeah,
to get it out on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but he did great. I liked his work, and he did amazing. And it is what it is now. And I can always make other fairies. If when I make this series, I can make, it's gonna be more fairies that come in her life. That's gonna be about different stuff to help her. So I like the illustrations, and yeah, he did great. So.
Does he? I mean, would he? If you go to an illustrator, would they get royalties from it, or you just pay them upfront and that's it?
Yeah, it was a website I found, and it was like the only website that got my attention, and it's called Fiverr. And so a lot of people are
Oh,
on
yeah.
Fiverr.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I found him on Fiverr, and he lived in Afghanistan, I think, or Pakistan. I can't remember. But yeah, he did great work, and I put his name. His name is actually on the book. It says illustrated by. He just put his first name, or I guess like a name that he uses as an illustrator. And I also put it when I self-published on there. I put his name as the illustrator as well. So I believe so. Like once the book takes off, he will get royalties from it. I have to check and make sure and check with him as well. Sometimes they don't really want it, which is weird, but I don't mind sharing with people that help me.
Yeah. I mean, I think until you get an agent, and I'm sure you will get an agent soon,
Mm-hmm.
just keep going. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to do it all yourself and like figure out
Yes.
what's
Yes.
like contracts and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, it's quite
Yes,
scary.
I can't process it all. It's just so much. And then I work from home, so I'm trying to do that, take care of my grandfather. Then I have two fur animals, two fur babies that are like my children. So, and then I'm in a relationship. So it's a lot. And then the Arthur too. And it happens so fast. Everybody is just coming towards me like, oh, I have, with their businesses. And then I'm meeting like a lot of Arthur friends, Arthur people. And, some are helpful, and then some are like, a little strange, but
Yeah, I know. I don't. There are some authors that are just like, oh, just just give up, it's hard. Like, I remember like uni, because I did creative writing, and we would get these guest speakers that would come in, and they'd be like, some of them would be really positive, but then others would just be like, oh, I'm published, but you guys might be like hard work. It's just like, come on, like, why would you say that to a bunch of like aspiring writers? Just give us a break.
Yes, yeah, especially as a first-time author, we're not going to know everything. We're still learning. And so once we get years, I plan on getting years under my belt. That way I can help other, authors that would be starting off like me in the future. So definitely like a teacher or like a entrepreneur or something like that in that, area to help other authors.
And the industry is changing as well. Like, I don't think the self-publishing industry was as big as it is now, like when I was at uni. So it was easy for them to say to us, oh yeah, you have to go face like 100 rejections and all this kind of stuff. Well, now it's like, or if we wanted to go, what self-publishing, and they probably didn't know anything about it because they had already had their books published and everything. They've got agents, and they were like, oh yeah, don't do that. But so it's not all. Yeah, I think you have to be really careful as to whose advice you're going to take, and everyone's story is different. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know the difference because I was a kid way back when, so I don't know how it was, for authors way back, in that time or in that day. But I have heard different stories for people who have been authors for a long time. They said that things have changed drastically. Yeah. Even for new authors. So I was like, well, thank God. It sounded like it would have been a little difficult back then, but because social media is a big thing now and technology. Yeah. So you get your book out there a little bit quicker than way back when there was no technology or no, social media.
Yeah, it's quite mad to actually think that if you're looking back then where you have to like approach agents and publishers and go for all of this just to get your manuscript done or write it out by hand or whatever, and now it's like you can literally upload it onto a computer, onto a system, and then you get given a copy of your own book. You've done it yourself. I think it's good though. It's working well in our favor, technology.
Yeah, it is. It's a good thing. There's so many platforms you can put your author business on. You have Facebook, Instagram. You can make an author page, an author website. So just imagine all this way back when, like trying to do that by yourself, Yeah. So we'll be lost. And then it's like so many other platforms you can like put your stuff on, I heard of so many platforms and so many workshops you can go to now. So that can help you. And so I just really enjoy like everything I'm learning, everything I sign up for, because I do sign up to go to like writers workshops and stuff like that. So I can know more about other people's journeys and how they did things and what steps they took to push their books out. So I really enjoy doing stuff like that and reaching out to other authors too.
Yeah, it's good to keep everyone like a circle and keep it. I find like the more that you're into it, the more you realize, oh, do you know this author? Do you know that author? And it's like, oh yeah. Because I think you said that Sean recommended me.
Yes, yeah, he did. He did. He's really nice. I didn't really expect that. And then he just told me about the Night Rider, podcast. I was like, oh, I never really heard of that podcast. So thank you, So now you're getting her out there and also helping me. So that was really nice of him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because we talked about like self-publishing and the pros and the cons and what to do. And I haven't interviewed a children's author at all, let alone self-published children's author. So it's
oh wow.
And you're a first-time children's author as well.
So I feel honored. I feel special. That's good.
You mentioned it's going to be a series, or you wanted to be a series.
Yes.
Have you started planning? Do you know how many books or ideas, or is it all just in your head?
Like I said, I'm so used. I've been writing since I was like maybe between the ages of 10 and 12. I started off doing poems, and then I found my passion and my love for stories. So in middle school, I was writing like teen drama type of, stories and stuff that was like way older. Where is this coming from? I'm only like 10 or 11. I'm talking about like teenage stuff, or grown up stuff. And so that's how I was writing. And so that's what I'm used to. In like 2019, I had like 3 stories going on this website called Wattpad. I'm not sure if you heard of it, but I had Wattpad for a long time. And I'm an avid reader as well. So I love reading other people's stories, but I do enjoy writing. And I write like more like adult, like, stories. So this children one is like really taking a toll on me because it's so much more with the children, but than with a regular book. With a regular book, you need the front, the back, the spine, and just proofread and edit it and all that other stuff. A children's book is so much more technical. So I really don't even have like a set limit or amount of books I want to go to. I mean, people are like, oh, you should keep going. And I was like, okay, that's nice. I will. But people are like, oh, you should do like 6. I'm like, oh, no, I don't think so. Maybe like 2 more, make it like a 3 series, and then that's it. I'll probably grow her up. So she'll probably be like in high school by like the 3rd one. And then that will be it, because it's so much more technical. You have to find the right illustrator, make sure they have a reasonable price, and make sure they do the drawings how you envision it, how you told them, because they can do it their way if they wanted to. And it's like, no, I'm paying you to do it the right way, the way I see it.
Yeah.
And so you got to make sure, the characters are perfect, the illustrations are perfect, the text is not too long. So it's way more technical with children's book than like a regular, like a romance novel or something. So I definitely want to make it 3.
Okay. I think it's a myth that people say, oh yeah, children's books so easy to write, write a children's book. And then
I thought that at first.
Yeah, but you say it's actually harder or more just, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, children's book should be easy. It's children's, yeah. And no, it is not easy. It's not, because it's illustrations. A romance novel, you don't have to add illustrations in the book. People are just gonna read the dialogue, or they're gonna read, the paragraph or the chapter.
But kids like looking at pictures too. I mean, that's
yeah.
Look at the pictures.
Yeah, so I'm trying different ideas to try to get, because my audience will be kids, and my audience is kids, and so I wanted to add like maybe a coloring book along with my book, because it is kind of hard trying to make sales as well. Even though, like I said, social media is a big thing, you still have to get people's interest. You still have people have to like want to buy your book or purchase your book or like your book. And so far I have been getting like a lot of positive and good reviews, especially on Amazon, on my book. And thankfully there is like a book group on there where we do, read each other's work and stuff like that, and then we review it. And so that does help as well. Some of them came out of nowhere, but the others have came from the group that I'm in on Facebook. So I really thank the person, or I thank, the people that have done that. That really got my book, really good 5-star review on Amazon. So, but it really is hard trying to make sales and trying to get it out there. Besides, I am very, really quiet and shy and to myself. So trying to be out there like, hey, I'm an author. Hey, that's just not me. Buy my book. That's not me. But I know I have to get out of my shell eventually, especially being an author, especially if this is something I want to do, and, to pass on down to my children, then I need to branch off and, get out there.
I think the easiest way to do that is to kind of do more interviews like this, like podcast interviews, because I was exactly the same a year ago. And then I started the podcast, and my first one, I was shaking, I was trembling. Even my first interview, I was just so nervous. It just takes time and just practice to kind of talk, and then, you'll be
yeah.
And
thank you.
You're talking about something that you love, right? It's like your passion. So
it's like my baby now.
Yeah.
And now I'm a children's book. I started, now my first book is a children's book, and now I'm going to be known as the person that wrote a children's book, but I don't just want to stick with just one genre. I definitely want to be, a guru in all genres. And, not just stick with children's. Like I said, I'm going to do 2 more, and then that's it, because my brain is going to explode with this children's book. But I do enjoy it. I do want to help kids all over the world, and, help parents or grandparents with their kids who deal with fear, that deal with different things that they probably don't even know how to handle, So hopefully I can be that person, and, that author that can help people. That's what I really like to do, is help people. I studied pharmacy tech, and I like being in the medical field. So I like helping people. It runs in my family as well. So
Because I was gonna round off by saying, what do you hope that people can take away from your book? But I think you just answered the question.
Well, I could definitely answer it again. I'm sorry. I'm starting to like get out there and talk, So I just did an interview before you, so I guess I'm just like
Yeah.
talking now, but
Yeah.
um yeah, I definitely want them to get what I want them to get out of my book is, it does have a positive message to it. And it is targeted towards, a child dealing with so much fear, dealing with they're not going to be good enough when they go to their new school, or their classmates not going to like them because they're not smart enough, or the teacher's not going to like them. And kids do have that fear. Trust me, I was a kid, so I know how it feels, to want to have friends and then they don't like you. So it's like, oh my God, and especially during the pandemic and then coming back from that and then going to school,
Yeah.
especially being like a new student, it's kind of scary. You have that fear. So I definitely want, and a parent might not know how to deal with that or help their child. So maybe, this book right here can help the child and the parent or the grandparent, with helping their child deal with fear. And if they have that evil thought in their head, to just throw it away. And they can create them. If kids have vivid imaginations, they can create their own stuff in their heads. So they can make their own fairy or whatever they want in their heads. That can be like the little friend. Kids have like what's it called? Imagination friends or something like that. And I think every kid had one where the parent can't see it, but the kid can see the person or talk to it. I think I had one too. So
I did. I think I did. Oh, yeah. I think
yeah, my mom said
at some point. You still do.
Oh yeah, right. It still goes with, they grow with you. So, but yeah, I definitely had one. I was like 2 or 3. I used to laugh and talk to dolls and stuff underneath the table. So, and that probably helped me, as I got older. And writing helped me too, like especially being bullied and dealing with puberty and stuff like that. Writing helped me, and then like just certain things helped me. So definitely, this book can definitely help parents and kids, and that's what I want them to get out. I got get out of this book is to love themselves and to like not let something, an evil thought or person, whoever the case may be, don't let that monster control your destiny, because you do have a purpose in life. And so follow that fairy, follow that positive you know energy, and that way you won't be so caught up in people not liking you or not being good enough, because you are good enough and you are smart enough. So that's mainly what I want to say.
That's really inspiring. I was like, would you have would you be open to like merchandising the characters as to like so that the kids can have their own like little fairy that they can carry
Oh,
around?
I never thought about that. That's smart.
It's a children's book, right? And I know
Yeah.
that there's a thing. That is a thing. Like,
Yeah. Definitely when I like push it out there more and I start making sales, or whenever I come up with something, I'm financially straight, I definitely want to use my finance towards this book and towards kids and towards, purchasing different things that I can give to them for free. They don't have to pay for it. As long as they get the book, the book, yes, but all the little free goodies and stuff, like that would just be for the kids, and that can just like to help them, like positive stuff, educational stuff, stuff for schools, like school supplies. I did come across, like maybe wanting to like bring my character to life through like a stuff, like have them stuffed like a stuffed animal, but have it shaped like Mia, shaped like the monster, shaped like the fairy. Once, I get to that stage, I don't want to push it now, but I definitely want to do something like that.
yeah, it'll be real.
Yeah, and like, like I don't know how I want to merchandise it. Maybe like a coloring book or like a bracelet, something like that. I definitely want to do something like that.
They'll
Bracelet.
approach you. They'll approach you because it's a really
Yeah,
good idea.
T-shirts. Yeah.
So where can we go to find you, or where can people go to find more about you?
You can find me more so on Facebook. I'm more active on Facebook. I am active on my Instagram, but my Facebook, I want to change my name, but my Facebook will be my last name first and then my first name. So Sanders Cynthia is my main Facebook page where I have all my Arthur information and everything there. I also have an Arthur page, and it is Cynthia C. Sanders, or Cynthia Sanders Arthur, and that's my Arthur page. And then my Instagram, you can find me. It's my middle name, so it's kind of difficult. I have to spell it. It's at Crochet, so CHRISHAI Milan MILANN. That is my Instagram name. So you can find me on Instagram. It's kind of difficult trying to say it like this.
It's okay. I can put them in the links in the description
In the description. Okay. I was just about to ask you, like, can I send it to your email?
Yeah, email. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna send it to your email. I do have a Twitter, but it's not as active. So my main thing would be Facebook, my Arthur page on Facebook, and my Instagram. Okay. And that's mainly where you can where anybody can contact me and reach me.
Okay. Cynthia, thank you so much. Good luck with the story.
Thank you. You're welcome so much. Thank you for having me.
Bye, everyone. I will see you on the next one.